How I Reinvented Bodybuilding. I knew bodybuilding was sus and needed further investigation the day I heard some flimsy bodybuilder say, "You can't do what I do." I heard that one before when teachers told me I was dumb and graded me down for copying homework that I myself programmed on my own computer. They needed statistics, uneven distribution of A and B's and C's and D's. So it was all made up and I was thrown under the bus. The thing that sealed the deal for bodybuilding, though, was some knuckle-dragging knucklehead pronouncing the words superior genetics. And to add insult to injury, a wise trainer came on, showed a dumb exercise, and uttered the words, "This will fill up your shoulders nicely." Last time I saw such a parade of fools was at the high school faculty lounge. Let me tell you something about adults. When you can't hear them, they talk about how they don't feel like grownups. And they are right. Aging just makes a person look older. It has negligible impact on their wisdom and greatness. Experience only takes you so far. So in that regard, they are right. They're probably not grown-ups. So it all begun the day I was told that my accent was still too heavy, and that the customers could not understand what I was saying. It turned out that it wasn't my accent. Can you imagine that? It is just that the customer was confused. They didn't know why FTP was important for their website. I went home, tired of the uneducated Muppets who thought, and I quote, "I didn't know anything," where I was a really nice programmer. They just didn't know what that even was. They were on a different wavelength, just throwing money at a business hoping it will stick. They didn't know how to run it, how to honor a good programmer. And I turned on the TV pretty much the last time. It's been decades since I watched something on a TV. And I liked the show Smallville. I missed it when it was on TV, so I bought some DVDs. And the storyline completely deteriorated. Goodness forbids that a work of fiction could inspire people for real. Let's just get all uneasy with a crap storyline about some bad boys and made-up monsters and self-censored mockingbirds. I'm sorry, Miss Harper, but when you have an opportunity to change the world, you take that opportunity and you do not mince words. Instead, say it like it is. As the final episode of the last disc that I cared to purchase played that pretty song, I grabbed my leather jacket and went for a run. First to a nearby city, and then into the boonies and sticks, leather jacket in hand. Let me tell you something. You have never known the magnificent taste of an ice cube. You need to run until all you can do is crawl, and then pop an ice cube in your mouth. What a reward it is. When I healed up from the jog, I did it again. This time I thought I completely ruined my feet, like really bad, like 9-1 run bad. When I stopped my 8-hour, 18.7-mile shuffle and unlaced my shoes, however, nothing. Nothing. My feet just tricked me because I was new at this. Having stopped, I could barely walk. I wish I knew to keep on going. I could have done a marathon in just a little bit over 12 hours. Pretty big deal for me. And then another job started. They told me to use CSS with IE5 or some nonsense like that. I showed them pixel perfect enough cross-browser tables, but they didn't want tables. Some dumbo that probably didn't even know multiple browsers existed just to sound smart told them that the new hire should use plain CSS. To this day, everyone serious about development uses CSS frameworks for layout. To this day, it's been like quarter of a century. And I had to change because by that time I was violating dress code just to piss everyone off. They sent me back home to put on a suit. They didn't want me wearing goth pants at the office. But I loved my suit too much. I would never wear it to the office again. So I quit. Over goth pants, technically. Pants with so many zippers and so apparently outrageous that students from distant lands would wonder if I was a Cuban dancer. This really happened. Let me say this. You change when someone normal walks up to you and in a perfectly normal tone of voice asks you a seemingly normal question that goes, "Are you a Cuban dancer?" It crossed my mind that it was some kind of a 3-letter agency handshake and that I was meant to reply with something like, "The wickers in the shrubs again." But I think it was just an arbor. It is what make-believe education does to kids. They live in a strange world and ask strange questions. I loved jogging across the diag, looking into the library windows, especially when it was raining. But it was a school that I could never even dream about affording, not to mention teaching in. My favorite moment was listening to Bryson's short history of nearly everything and having that "fuck, not another phylum" part come up somewhere at 2 a.m. on State Street. It got me. I stopped my jogging and walked a stretch, laughing really hard. That poor man and his quote. And mind aside, after all the years of trying to jog, my body began adapting. I looked at my legs, and they were muscular. And that right there and then is how I reinvented bodybuilding. I thought about how those muscles grew, how fast, what they needed. I thought about speed, weight, rhythm, focus, music, wrist weights, weight vest, leg weights, and dumbbells. And I began jogging to a gym where I would jog with their equipment some more. Not the treadmills, mind you, their other equipment, where I actually gave myself something that approached Superman shoulders. I switched gym a few times because I was always hugging the machines and looking for new things. And as I became poorer and poorer, I finally ended up working out at the gym that I am at. And then, I kid you not, some young lady walked right in front of me and ignoring me completely as if I wasn't even there, did a yoga pose. The worst possible kind of yoga pose, and I hopped out of there so quick that she's probably giggling about it to this day. This is my spot now. Ooh. Okay, just don't tell your dad I was working out here. It was really weird. It could have been a bet, though I admit I was an invisible fat guy back then. If I remained there for another billionth of a second until my eyes focused on what was going on, the camera would have captured it and I would have been paraded out of the gym. And then her brother would come out of nowhere and scare the crab apples out of me. By which point I'd probably agree that it was all my fault. On second thought, as I am somewhat of a deadpan expert myself, that was probably that young lady's comedy shtick, and watching me fly out of that room like a bat out of hell made her day. Thanks a lot, little lady. Jeez. So I switched to a more portable and flexible method, away from all the machines, because of some rebellious teenager who stopped giving a crap. And that's how I ended up with dumbbells in my hands, which turned out not to be dumb at all. I have been dancing with them for ages. But all it is, really, is just jogging with my upper body. Instead of pushing my full weight with my legs, I push as much weight as I can, and I continue increasing it, for 3 hours, nearly non-stop, with my arms. And since my arms are connected to the rest of my body, and dancing demands some measure of twisting and turning, not only my shoulders, but my midsection and legs get a huge workout too. It may not seem like it, but dancing with dumbbells is a full body workout. Eventually, as the dumbbells get heavier, they even begin building your chest. Full body workout, I kid you not. Oh yeah, I'll be adding a 4th hour to my workout this winter.